Hey guys, Soren here. Welcome to Tech Weekend. We got a lot of news today, some pretty interesting stuff, so let's jump straight to it. So the HDMI forum rejects the open source driver support that AMD was looking to implement. It's about HDMI 2.1, and yeah, long story short, you'll probably have to go the DisplayPort route on Linux if you are after 4K at 120 Hz. So stuff like when the open source community gets bogged down in stuff like this, it's quite sad as it just hinders progress. Now I get where the HDMI forum is coming from, like trying to be all secure and we are against piracy and stuff, but it's just a small layer, their concerns. And let's be honest, piracy exists and it's here and it's present, and that layer doesn't work very good against piracy, so yeah. But we'll have to see what AMD does next, if it does anything regarding this. Mm, as far as I know, Nvidia's implementation is better in the way that it's somehow in the firmware or something like that, and it doesn't have an issue with this. So yeah, if you're looking for such high resolutions and stuff, either go Nvidia or go DisplayPort. Yeah, so that's about it about this. Ray tracing can run without a GPU. Quake 2 RTX was demoed at 1 FPS, so it's basically a slideshow with CPU only based ray tracing. Yeah, so a developer named Sawyer made this. So while it's just a port, he's porting code. This is quite important since we must take into account that in the future we're getting CPUs that have dedicated AI chips, and the performance will not scale so linearly. I mean, you could predict how fast CPUs will be in the next 10 years, but who knows what breakthroughs will come out and stuff like that. So we might see, I mean, it wouldn't be such a big surprise that in about 10 years you could see an APU that can do RTX easily. I mean, why not? So this is pretty cool. Of course, at the moment it's just interesting, but we'll have to see in the future how all this pans out. Yeah, so AMD promotes third-party app for running AI chatbots on your local hardware. It's about LM Studio. I've played with this; it's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, you don't really need an AMD GPU or anything like that. It does run with. We can use one. It can use an NVIDIA GPU, but it also can run just on your CPU. But you need a lot of RAM, like 30, 16 gigs at least, to get any interesting model. So you do have inside the app an interface to download models from Hugging Face. There are there are a lot of models, some interesting, but don't go thinking that your desktop PC with I don't know decent CPU and a GPU and 32 gigs of RAM will replace GPT-4. It's not there. You need a lot of hardware to run something remotely close to that. But it's an interesting experiment and a cool glimpse into what you can run locally. I'm not doubting the fact that you could actually find a useful model and use it, but probably it will be outperformed by one of the competitors like Google's Gemini, ChatGPT 4, Copilot from Microsoft, and so on. Yeah, but a nice thing nonetheless. Something nice to try, especially if you're into AI and stuff like that and seeing what's new in this space. MSC details how to make your Intel CPU run cooler without losing performance. Yeah, they basically recommend disabling CAP, but a better title would be that you can make you now can, with the new Intel microcode update, you can now make your non-K Intel run cooler, because K processors, as far as I remember, already supported this. Yeah, so 14 Gen K series, yes, already supported with previous microcode. Yeah, so the new thing, technically speaking, is the fact that non-K CPUs can benefit from this. We're talking about 14 Gen and 13 Gen. 12 Gen non-K don't support this, but K series do support this. Yeah, so it's pretty nice if people have a non-K Intel CPU from the latest gens. Uh, they can get better cooling, and this could also translate in better performance depending on your cooling solution, the load that you're having. Yeah, okay, it's something cool. Next, Google Maps could get better at knowing which direction you're facing. Uh, it's about a new API for Android phones called Fused Orientation Provider. So we'll have better device orientations. And yeah, your phone already uses this for AR and the compass. I didn't have so many problems with this. I mean, I do use Google Maps a lot. On the car, never had an issue. When walking, indeed, sometimes it did get confused, especially when going off route to an alternative route. It seemed to have some problems, but nothing so annoying that I didn't get where I needed to get. But yeah, if it would be a little bit better, I wouldn't mind. It's nice to see such improvements to such important apps, in my opinion. I mean, this GPU is something. This GPS map, basically. So at least that's how I'm using it most of the time, as a GPS replacement. It's quite important. So the better it is, the better. Nikon buys Hollywood Red. So the famous maker of digital cameras, Red, is gonna be basically a wholly owned subsidiary of Nikon. I mean, Nikon does great stuff, so this is probably good news in essence, as both companies can benefit from what the other one knows. So we'll have to see what's next. What if we'll see something inspired from Red in Nikon's lineup, or the other way around. Interesting news, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens next. Google Drive is about to get much better at video and search. And just like the guys from TechRadar say, it's about time. I mean, considering Google has YouTube, it was quite annoying how videos worked in Google Drive. So they're gonna be snappier thanks to Dash, dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP, that will basically adapt the quality and based on your internet connection, on your network connection. So let's hope it's gonna work properly. And search filters are also going to be added. Another nice feature is as if even on the free plan, if you're just using Gmail and have Google Drive, you might get bogged down on how to organize your files and stuff. But especially if you opt for a paid plan like Google Workspace or stuff, you get a lot of space to store your files. So filters and finding things easier, a better search, these things are vital, especially for this kind of apps. And other services like Microsoft OneDrive do have sophisticated search parameters. So yeah, it's a must-have, and it's good that Google pays attention to stuff like this. So yeah, AMD confirms it's working on an AI upscaler for gaming. Uh, just like we saw with DLSS, this is pretty important as AI has a lot of potential in this space. Uh, like we've seen, there are situations where actually the DLSS image looks kind of better than the real thing. The unprocessed processed images. So yeah, and as long as games get more accessible to people, I mean, I don't know, instead of dipping to low 40 FPS because that's your GPU, going to, I don't know, consistently over 60, make the difference between okay experience and a great experience while playing a game. So I'm all for it, and I'm very curious how AMD will implement this, and also very curious on what hardware will it run. I mean, will the 6000 series be supported? Will you need a new CPU and GPU? Yeah, these are details that we're going to find out in time. I haven't seen anything regarding this yet, but this is a good. These are good news. Actually interested to see how this will pan out. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads were all down, as probably we all saw. I did not find a concrete reason on why this happened. Just random uh, apologies. Yeah, and basically the issue mostly was with the login service, as you could you were logged out of the Facebook, for example, and you couldn't log in. This persisted a couple of hours, and then everything went back to normal. It's interesting to see stuff like this happen to such big apps and companies. And yeah, obviously some jokes were made on X, uh, as it was expected. So the last news, the MacBook Pro M3 battery life tested by Tom's Guide. The Apple guys did a very well job. I mean, the 14-inch M3 got up to 17 hours and 25 minutes. That's quite good. The 16-inch M2 Max still wins the top life, but if we compare the MacBooks with the Windows alternatives, except the Panasonic Toughbook, who is, I mean, I don't know if you've seen this. This is not actually something usable day to day. I mean, what is this? What what sort of movie does this came out of? Yeah, okay. So again, the M2 Max and the 13-inch M2 Pro still lead, but then we have the M3 MacBooks. Close comes the Dell and the Asus, but again, after that we have Max, and then we have the HP Elite Folio, but there's almost an hour difference between the M3 and the Elite Folio. So yeah, 40 minutes, 50 minutes can be quite a lot. You can finish that email, finish that Zoom meeting. There are a lot of things you can get done, especially when we're talking about non-battery intensive tasks in 40 minutes, like gaming or stuff like that. But even consuming multimedia content, I mean, 40 minutes is a lot. So yeah, Apple has done something very nice with the new M3, and the battery life on laptops is still important, especially on day-to-day laptops and business laptops. Yeah, for a gaming laptop, obviously you would want to be plugged in most of the times to get max performance, but of course, There are scenarios where you might want to game on the battery. You never know. So yeah, having more efficient laptops is not a bad thing. So that's about it for this episode of Tech Weekend. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.